Hello students, today I am going to discuss regarding the interior of the heart and the coronary vessels. So as you can see, there are many heart in front of me. So we start with this heart. From the previous class, we have already studied the external features. So this is the anterior part of the heart, where you can see the right atrium and the right ventricle. We are going to open this right atrium to see the interior, and we are going to open this right ventricle to see the interior of the right ventricle. Similarly, if I just rotate this heart, this is the base of the heart where the left atrium is located. We'll also open this left atrium and see the interior of the left atrium. And this is the diaphragmatic surface mainly formed by the left ventricle, and we'll just open this left ventricle and we'll see the interior of the left ventricle. Now let's start with the right atrium. You can see this is the superior vena cava, and here is the inferior vena cava where the blood comes and enter into the right atrium. If I'll just cut this right atrium here, and see the interior of the right atrium. It consists of two parts. You can see here, this is the smooth part of the right atrium and this is the rough part of the right atrium. And these two parts are separated by this line here. You can see this line which extends downwards towards the inferior vena cava, opening of the inferior vena cava, and this line is called as the crista terminalis. This is the rough part which is developed from the right part of the primitive right atrium, and you can see various structure here which is going upwards. This is the musculus pectinati muscles. Okay, now let's come to the smooth part of the right atrium. You can see here is the opening of the superior vena cava. It has no valve here, and you can see here is the opening of the inferior vena cava, which is guarded by a valve called the Eustachian valve. This is the opening for the inferior vena cava, which is guarded by a valve called the Eustachian valve, and just near the opening you can see another opening here. This is the opening for the coronary sinus, and this is also guarded by a valve called as the Thevesian valve. Another structure that is not clearly seen here, that is the structure called as the tendon of Todaro, and this is the atrioventricular orifice. And here it forms a triangle here. This triangle is called as a triangle of Koch, where the atrioventricular node is located. This is the interatrial septum here. One very important structure you will observe in the interatrial septum is this structure. This is called as the fossa ovalis, which is developed from the septum primum. And the margin of the fossa ovalis, you can see here, this one. This is called as the limbus fossa ovalis, which is developed from the septum secundum. And this is the interatrial septum. So this is regarding the smooth part of the right atrium. Okay, we have studied the right atrium interior. Now we are going to see the right ventricle. You can see the opening here. This is the atrioventricular orifice. So where the blood goes from right atrium to the right ventricle. This atrioventricular orifice is guarded by a valve called as the tricuspid valve. You can see the leaflet of the tricuspid valve here from the opening here. I'll just go front here. I'll open the right ventricle here, and you can see the various leaflets surrounding the valve. This is the cups or the valve of the atrioventricular valve. The right ventricle is again divided into the inflowing part. You can see this one is the inflowing part and this one is the outflowing part, where you can see the pulmonary artery. The inflowing part mainly consists of this valve, three valve. That's why it's called tricuspid valve. And you can see this tricuspid valve. This is the papillary muscle, and this cups or the leaflet is attached to this papillary muscle with the help of this thread-like structure. This small thread-like structure, this is called the coda tendineae. We have two papillary muscle in the right ventricle, and this all elevation you can see here, these are all the trabeculae carneae. This trabeculae carneae is divided into ridges, bridges and the pillar. The papillary muscle is the pillar, and where you can see this all structure, this is the bridges, and one very important bridge here is the supraventricular crest. One very important structure that connects the papillary muscles with the ventricular wall is this structure. This is called as the septomarginal trabeculae or the moderator band, where the AV bundle branch runs in this moderator band. So this is regarding the inflowing part. This is the outflowing part, which is also called as the infundibulum, and you can see from this smooth part, this is the pulmonary artery, where the blood goes from right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. Okay, now this is the base of the heart, where you can see the left atrium, and you can see the opening of the four pulmonary valves here, vein. And if I open this left atrium, you can see the orifice here. This is the left atrioventricular orifice, where the blood goes from left atrium to left ventricle. In the left atrium, you'll see one seminal fold here. This seminal fold here, this is called as the limbus fossa ovalis, which corresponds with the fossa ovalis on the right atrium. This is also consists of two parts. This is all the smooth part, which is developed from the absorbed part of the pulmonary veins. And you can see here, this is the left auricle, which consists of the rough part. And inside the left auricle, if I remove this part, you will see some of the pectinate muscles. So this is all about the left atrium. Now let's come to the left ventricle. So this diaphragmatic part mainly formed by the left ventricle. If I open this left ventricle, you can again see this is the rough part, and here is the small smooth part. Okay, the rough part again consists of these cups here, two cups. That's why it's called as the bicuspid valve or mitral valve. And you can see these are the papillary muscle here. This is the cups here, which is connected with the papillary muscle with the help of again the chorda tendineae here. Three papillary muscles are seen in the left ventricle. So this is regarding the inflowing part. When you see the outflowing part here, this is the outflowing part, also called as aortic vestibule, and where you can see the opening of the aorta here. So this is the outflowing part, and this is the inflowing part. So this is all regarding the interior of the heart. Now we are moving towards the coronary vessels. Usually the heart is supplied by the two coronary artery, the right and the left coronary artery. You can see this is the ascending aorta here. Inside the ascending aorta there lies the aortic sinus. There are two aortic sinus, anterior and posterior aortic sinus. And you can see this is the diaphragmatic part. This is the atrioventricular groove here, where the arteries are running on both the side. The one on the right side, this is the right coronary artery, and on the left side, these are the left coronary artery. Let's start with the right coronary artery. Okay, we'll start with the right coronary artery. You can see the ascending aorta. Interior to the ascending aorta lies the anterior aortic sinus. From here, the right coronary artery originates. It runs towards the atrioventricular sulcus. You can see here, it goes towards the right border. It winds around the right border and goes towards the posterior part of the atrioventricular sulcus, towards the crux of the heart. Let's discuss the branches coming from the right coronary artery. One very important branch that goes inside of the right heart is the right conus artery that supplies the infundibulum of the heart. Another branches that is not clearly seen here goes towards the right atrium. This is the acynodal artery that supplies the acynode. These are all the anterior ventricular branches coming from the right coronary artery. If you go more here, you can see another branches running towards the inferior border of the heart. This is the right marginal artery. If I just turn this heart towards the posterior aspect, you can see another artery here, two artery you can see some variation in this artery. This artery should be coming here and running towards the posterior interventricular group. So this one is going here and going towards the posterior interventricular group, and this is the branch called as the posterior interventricular artery, or the posterior left posterior descending artery. So usually depending on the posterior interventricular artery, the cardiac dominance of the heart is determined. The heart is mainly supplied by two arteries, right and left. So depending upon the posterior interventricular artery, from where it comes, the heart is determined whether it is right dominance or the left dominance. In most of the case, the posterior interventricular artery arises from the right coronary artery. So in most of the case, the heart is the right coronary artery dominance. Now the left coronary artery. The left coronary artery arises from the posterior aortic sinus. You can see here, this is the left coronary artery. When it comes here, it divides into two branches. The one that is going in front into the anterior interventricular group is the anterior interventricular artery, and that runs towards the atrioventricular sulcus. This is the circumflex artery. So this anterior ventricular artery, it also gives various atrial and ventricular branches. Here is one very important branch, that is the diagonal branches. Another important branches coming from circumflex artery is the left marginal artery. This circumflex artery, it goes towards the atrioventricular sulcus, towards the back side, and it meets with the right coronary artery at the crux of the heart. So bulk of the heart is mainly supplied by the left coronary artery. So the very important clinical importance of this artery is the coronary arteritis, which usually arises mainly due to the obstruction or blockage of this artery. It can be blocked mainly due to the atheromatous plaque or the thrombus formation. This coronary artery disease may lead to heart attack, which is also called as a myocardial infarction or the angina pectoris, depending upon the obstruction of the blood. Now regarding the venous drainage of the heart, mainly it is drained by the coronary sinus and its tributaries. So when you turn the heart on the posterior aspect, on the posterior part of the atrioventricular sulcus, you will see one large venous channel here. This is the coronary sinus, and various tributaries of the coronary sinus, they come and join with the coronary sinus. So some of the tributaries you will see in this model. This is the anterior aspect of the heart. You can see this is the atrioventricular orifice, a sulcus. You can see one vein coming from here. This is the great cardiac vein that is coming from the atrioventricular group and goes towards the coronary sulcus. This is the coronary sinus here, the last one. Another vein coming from this posterior interventricular sulcus or the group. This is the middle cardiac vein. These are the anterior cardiac vein. These are the small cardiac vein. Other veins are the posterior vein of the left atrium and the oblique vein of the posterior vein of left ventricle and the oblique vein of the left atrium. This all they come and join with the coronary sinus. As previously I have told, this coronary sinus finally opens into the interior of the right atrium. Okay, to summarize the today class, the most important thing you should know is regarding the interior of the right atrium, the smooth part and the rough part, where the various opening of the veins are present in the right atrium. Then on the right ventricle, you should see the various papillary muscle, the ridges, bridges. You should know about that, about the inflowing part and the outflowing part. Similar with the left atrium and the left ventricle. Very important regarding the vessels is the coronary vessels. Which is one of the major cause of the death in the developing country. You should know what are those vessels and what are the branches coming from the coronary artery. Thank you.